Hi, hello, and welcome into my reselling channel, Flipping Hippos. I'm Star. Today is time for a tutorial because it's Tuesday. Tutorial Tuesday. Last week we talked about why your sales may be slow and how to fix your listings. If you fix your listings, you fix your sales. Today I want to speak about specifically listing faster. So if you feel like listing takes you forever, today I'm going to tell you how to fix it. Resellers are always struggling with listing speed. A lot of that comes down to procrastination and routines and having a good schedule for sure. But there are things that you can implement during your listing process that will help you speed up and become more productive. But I want to make it very clear, without a very good routine and schedule and work ethic, this isn't going to work for you. So the base of being a successful reseller, the cornerstone, is always going to come back to having a schedule and routines and good work ethic. I cannot talk about that enough on this channel. I might talk about it a lot, but never too much, because that is the foundation. So if you ever think that, oh my gosh, Star says routines and work schedules, and all I do, I say it all the time. It bears repeating. It needs to be hammered into everyone's heads. The foundation for a successful business is having a schedule and good routines. Without those, you may as well just quit. Seriously. That might be a little tough for some people to hear, but it is what it is. You need those in place, and then you can work on everything else. So we're going to talk about how to list faster, assuming that you have a good schedule and routine in place. If you don't, go fix it, and then you can do this part too. I'm going to show you how to list faster without cutting corners. So the first thing is a system, right? You need a system, kind of like a routine, but this is going to be a system for listing. You always want to prep first. You're going to batch your work, right? So you don't take one item, one pair of sneakers, clean them, photograph them, and list them. You take 10 pairs of sneakers and clean all 10, and then photograph all 10, and then list all 10. You want to batch your work as well as batch the types of items you're working on. So you want to have all alike items and have them prepped, whatever it takes. Some things like jewelry just need a wipe down. Sneakers may need to be cleaned. Clothes may need to be steamed. Whatever you need to do, everything should be prepped, then photographed and measured, or measured and then photographed, however you want to do that. That's like a personal preference. Some people want to measure first and then photograph. Some people photograph and then measure because they include the measurements in their photos. Then you want to batch list all of the things you just photographed. You want to use templates. I cannot express to you how seriously important templates are. You need templates because you don't want to be filling in the same information and typing the same things over and over and over again. That is a colossal waste of time. You want to have templates for each type of item that you list. If you use List Perfectly, you can set them up there, or you can set them up on eBay. But you need templates, otherwise you're just wasting time typing the same things over and over again. And you can copy your own similar listings if you choose. I use AI, so I'd be remiss if I didn't briefly mention that here. Using AI to assist you with your listings is a big time saver. And if at all possible, it really should be part of your system. So you should gather alike items, prep, photo, measure photo, and then list using templates and AI. That'll speed up your processes a lot. Here's what slows most people down: overthinking titles. You don't need to overthink it. Brand what it is, who it's for, size, keywords. Walmart, blouse, women's plus size 16, paisley, short sleeve, cowl neck, whatever. What it is, brand, what it is, who it's for, size, and then the keywords. You don't have to overthink it. If you need help with keywords, again, I go back to AI. You can ask Google, you can ask ChatGPT. There are charts and pictures out there on Pinterest, but don't spend an hour looking for a design or what type of dress you have. There are way too many tools out there these days to make everything so much quicker. If you don't know what style your dress is, sincerely ask ChatGPT, Grok, any of these other AI platforms, because it'll come right back and tell you this is a shift dress and this is why it's a shift dress. Well, I use ChatGPT, so I guess I should only speak on that. It will tell me the style of the dress and why. And so then moving forward, I might be able to recognize that style of dress because I've been educated on what makes it that style. So use these tools that are at our fingertips. I know like back in 2017, I would have to go on Google or Pinterest and search for all those charts with the pictures of the dresses and find mine and see what it was. That's more time consuming than we need to be these days. So don't overthink your titles. Ask for help. Get good keywords, but don't spend too much time. Rewriting your descriptions time and again and again and again and again and again and again. Again, waste of time. Use templates. You need a workflow. That's super important. You need the workflow, which is the batch work and doing things in order. And you need a goal too. I feel like you need to say, I'm going to photograph 100 items or 10 items and then list them. Whatever your goal needs to be, set it and take a break when you're done and celebrate that success with a reward. I do believe in bribing yourself in the reward system. And your goals can be different. I like to photograph all one day and list all another day. So whatever it looks like to you, but have that good workflow, set your goals, take a break when you reach your goals, reward yourself with a snack, a walk, time with your dog, whatever it is. Another thing that slows folks down is constant distractions. So you need to be working at a time and in a space that you can limit those distractions. If you have young kids, maybe you work in the evening, or after they go to school. But you need space and time in your home, or you can go to a library or Starbucks, but you need to create that space and time for yourself where you can work without distractions. And you also need to decide what kind of worker you are. Some people need complete silence. Some people listen to music. Some people listen to audiobooks. I always have true crime on in the background, podcasts and things. And I can kind of listen to that while I work. But some people can't divide their attention that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that everybody's brains are different. So you have to figure out what your brain type is. Do you want music, podcast? Do you need quiet? Figure that out, and then get rid of all the rest of the distractions. And we distract ourselves a lot too. So don't get on social media unless it's clearly a break time as a reward, and set a timer, stay on there for 10 or 15 minutes and get off. You don't need to doom scroll for the next 3 hours because you could have been listing, right? So speed comes from systems, guys, not motivation, not racing, not being the best. The speed at which you list is going to come from having good systems and repeating yourself until it becomes natural and autopilot. When I first started reselling, I used to measure jeans like a snail. Like, seriously, I would measure 5 pairs of jeans in an hour. Now I can do like 20, 25. I can go really fast. It comes with repetition. So the more you do something, the better and the faster you will get at it. So when you have those good systems in place and you're doing the same things, you will get faster. You will get more productive. You just have to keep utilizing those systems. And that's where your speed is going to come from. You don't necessarily need more time in your day. You just need a better process. It is absolutely feasible for you to do more work and be more productive in the same amount of time or less time. This comes back to how I'm always talking about work-life balance. When you have the routines, the systems, the workflow, you will be more productive. You will get faster as time goes on, and you will do more in the same amount of time or less time. And then you'll free up your time to have that work-life balance. You don't need more time in your day. You just need good processes, and you need to stick to those. I personally do use List Perfectly in AI. If you don't use List Perfectly, I suggest trying it. You can get 30% off your first month with code flippinhippos, and if it's not for you, cancel. Try it at least, because I use it every day, every step of the way for everything I do in my business. But if you really don't like it or don't want to use it, you can use eBay's AI and templates. There's a lot of tools out there. Templates are super important. So use them no matter what tools you're using. You want to maybe save some phrases. See, this is where List Perfectly comes in. They have where you can set phrases for each platform independently. So if I have a listing that I'm pushing out to eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Etsy, each one of those platforms is going to have a different description based on what I set up in List Perfectly. And then I don't have to retype them over and over. They're just there. And then the templates does the rest. The AI does a lot of it. So if you're using List Perfectly, that's all in there for you. If not, you can use these things. eBay has templates in AI. And then as far as saved phrases, I guess you would just put them on your computer and copy paste them, so you're not typing them all the time. And then a good inventory system also helps, because you know where you're putting things away very neatly. After they're photographed and listed, they go right into your system. And then you're also not wasting time on shipping, because if you have a good system, you are just going and pulling things very easily to get them shipped. If you spend less time on shipping, you can spend more time on listing, right? Well, you want to spend a lot of time on shipping, because that means you sold a lot. But I don't want you to be wasting time on shipping. So if you can streamline and speed up the process for your shipping because you have a good inventory system, then you're not wasting time and losing items, and then that's valuable time you could be listing. So we all want to be spending a good amount of time on shipping. That means we're selling, but we don't want to be wasting any step of the way. Really, we're talking specifically about listing today, but every step of the way from sourcing to shipping, you should have good processes and streamlined how you do things so that everything is being as productive as you can be in as little a time. So I want you guys to really think about this as you're listing, that you're doing these good workflows, that you're batch listing, that you're doing chunks at a time, taking breaks, and rewarding yourself. Think about the things I talked about in here and really try to implement them, because you will see that you're going to speed up and be way more productive in the same amount of time. You'll go from listing 5 things an hour to 10 an hour to 15 an hour, depending on the item. So try it if you're not already doing, and if you are already doing, or you have a good process in place or a good routine, share it in the comments below so other people can read how you do things, and we can all kind of like learn from each other and how we all have our processes and how we all do things. I don't believe that we are competitors. I think that we are all co-workers or colleagues. There's room for everybody in reselling. I don't think that we all have to be competing with each other. There's room for all of us at the top. And we should all be sharing our expertise and our knowledge. Now, you don't have to share your secrets of where you source stuff, but you can share how you work, your processes. Like, we can all learn from each other. So, use the comment section for that. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Help me feed some hungry hippos. and I will see you in the next one. Bye.